Okay, thanks so much for having me here, Lindsay and Reza. It's a great opportunity to speak over here. Our startup is called Fingertips Lab, and our first product is called O6. O6 is an entirely new way to interact with mobile applications. You don't need to look at a screen, touch a screen, or even speak a word to interact with all of your mobile applications. We are on Kickstarter right now, and our app is called O6 App. A little bit about a background. To start off, today the industry largely emphasizes the design of devices that need visual interactions, such as smartwatches, tablets, smartphones, and recently virtual reality headsets. Such interactions not only limit how we interact with information, they work great when you're at home or office, but they completely break down when you step outside while walking or driving a car. And also it excludes a whole set of community of people, such as the blind and visually impaired, to use mobile applications. So before I go into detail of what O6 does, we'll start off with how we all started. If I could figure out how to get Keynote to work. That's not it. All right, it crashed, and I'm going to start over again. All right, I'll go in through like this. Having a little bit of technical difficulties. All right, we started off 5 years back when me and my co-founder visited a school for the blind in India, and we noticed that there were blind children who couldn't use mobile applications or use smartphones because these devices are simply too expensive for them to use. And also these devices are meant for visual interaction, so it is absolutely not possible for them to use such mobile applications. There are 20 million blind children in poor countries all over the world, and they don't have a chance to use mobile applications and enjoy one of the greatest technological marvels of our time. So it was then that my co-founder and I decided that what if we could build a small device that lets 50 blind children share a smartphone. And in order to do that, we had to build a completely new computing paradigm, and that's how it got us started building O6. The problem is far deeper. When we came to the US, we saw everyone literally hunched down, staring down at devices when they're walking. And it's even when people are driving. There are 18,600 people who died on the roads in the first 6 months of 2015, up by 14% over 2014. And National Safety Council said the uptick is largely due to the driver distraction to phones. The predominant, at any given daylight moment, there are about 600,000 people handling their smartphones while driving. And the predominant solution that the industry, Apple, Siri, Google Voice, emphasize is what is called as hands-free. And hands-free is the idea that you can use voice commands. And there's a reason why voice commands don't work, as you can see in the statistics. When humans talk to computers, they have two goals in mind. The first goal they have in mind is to scan for information to find objects of interest that they can dig into deeper. It's highly interactive, it's low cognitive effort, it occurs in milliseconds. That's why you guys can browse the web for hours using a mouse and a browser and not get tired. Humans have another goal in mind when they interact with computers that's called as analytical search. Analytical search is when you have a problem to solve, you think about the problem, in your limited language, you articulate keywords to the computer system. The computer system responds with queries, and then you reformulate the queries and ask. It's not highly interactive. It takes between 3 and 10 seconds. It takes a lot of cognitive effort. And AAA studies have found out repeatedly, in spite of being pushed back by Apple and the car companies, that voice commands, when error happens, is worse than texting and driving. So analytical search is not good for browsing. It is good for solving constrained problems. And typically, voice commands are good for when you ask a question or set a timer. But when humans interact with computers like a smartphone, they are not mostly asking questions or setting a timer. They are browsing the web, checking emails all the time, responding all the time in milliseconds. A typical human interacts with an iPhone 80 times a day. And that is the problem that O6 solves. How can we interact with computers, mobile apps, without looking at it, touching at it in the order of milliseconds. So let me show you a demo. I'm trying to project my phone screen over here. The audio doesn't seem to be working. Yes, it is. I'll show it like this. So what it does is you press the button.
Okay, stand in front of the podium and put the phone up to the mic.
What O6 does, it converts all the content to your Facebook, email, Twitter into radio stations. So we have an app over here where you can scroll through information.
Call number for today's meeting.
And you can quickly scroll through it.
Email.
And I can change channels.
Twitter.
I can open Twitter. It'll take a little bit of time for the tweets to load up. You can pause or play at any time.
4 at 7 p.m. Tweet from Vincent Dignan. It says, my Kickstarter.
What it also does is that it analyzes links, automatically fetches this content and converts it into audio. So this is a very simple idea where it converts all your Evernote, Slack, Facebook, Twitter, all into radio stations that you can play, pause, skip, rewind using this tactile device. It has an advanced mode that we are now testing in 3 schools for the blind in India. And what it does is it converts all apps. You can remotely control all apps.
Social folder. 5 apps. Voiceover off. Voiceover on.
So you can literally control any app on the screen.
Messages. Outlook. Messages. Yeah. Camera. O6.
Device in front of the mic.
5 apps. Social. Edit. Facebook.
We'll open Facebook.
Facebook. Network connection in progress. Toggle prompt. ABC 7 News. Yesterday at 6:15 a.m. Everyone, we believe
Device over
Arena
here.
is a sea of gold ahead of Caves. Alert.
O6 uses artificial intelligence to analyze content that you're listening to automatically recommend actions that you're most likely to take. So over here in Facebook, it knows you're listening to content, and then when you press the action button, you can change.
Like. React. But like.
You can like a
There
content,
is live now.
and then you can go back home.
If you want more users, traffic, revenue. Social folder at link. Search by at 6:59 p.m.
So the whole idea over here is that,
At least 29 people killed in Syria airstrike.
I just want to mute this off. The whole idea over here is what if you can interact with all mobile applications without looking at it, without touching the screen, or speaking a word, highly interactive. And the best use case I have is when I go to a meeting like this, I put on my small Motorhead Bluetooth headset, and when I'm bored, I just browse the web, and no one knows about it. And I'll end with one video that I'm going to share over here. So we are on Kickstarter right now. We launched our product 4 days back. We would appreciate it if you could go spread the word of what we're trying to do. And this is the video that we're going to play. Well, there's no volume.
Try to unplug your audio and plug it back in.
With O6, your sense of touch allows you to keep your eyes free. All you have to do is listen.
Email. 1 email from David Russell. It says, I attached the sun sketch. This is short notice, but the meeting location has changed to 990 Harrow Street. Can you make it? Action 1, reply. Yes. No. 15 minutes late. Message sent. Action 1, reply. Action 2, navigate to 990 Harrow Street.
Use O6 to browse and listen to apps while on the go. Tweet from San Francisco Giants. It says, fun fact, every starter has over this week. Tweet from Headline News. It says, scientists launch microspace craft at 20%. O6 can be used at home or the office with gestures to control any mobile application. And API available to developers. You'll soon discover entirely new ways to use O6.
Play podcast.
Get O6 in your eyes.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you, PK. That was really cool. How many colors does it come in?
3 colors.
3 colors.
Tangerine orange,
Go ahead.
tangerine orange, glacier blue, and a cool gray.
Okay, cool. I'll go for the gray one. What questions do we have? Here we go.
I just wondered if you're basically feeding internet addiction in the grand scheme of things, maybe not.
Could you try that again?
Have you considered that really you're kind of just feeding internet addiction and like, I don't know, like honestly, as I was watching that, I was thinking about, so you'd have to pay me to use it. But
Yeah, 7 out of 10 people on the roads use email. There is a constant pressure for us to remain connected. The problem is that we concentrate on those as primary tasks, not secondary tasks. That's why we look down upon screens. What we are trying to promote is that things like reading your latest articles, your emails, and everything become secondary tasks without taking your focus away from your primary task. And that's why we think, at least we believe, we're trying to promote the notion that we don't look down at screens all the time. We consider driving, connect with, walk down the road, do the tasks we want to do, but by listening to content, all these articles that we need to keep to, we hopefully can manage that.
Or you disconnect the unit while you're doing certain things like driving.
That's absolutely one approach, but the fact is that it's the same debate we had between abstinence and safe sex, right? It's you can follow an ideal, but the fact of the matter is 18,600 people died on the road, and it's increasing. What's the approach? You tell them don't do it? That's not working. This is an alternate approach. But I'm absolutely with you on that.
PK, I think what you're doing for people who have different handicaps is also very, very cool. We have another question from Patrick.
First of all, I'm definitely going to join you on Kickstarter.
Thank you.
Very cool. I had maybe a very difficult question for you. I'm thinking about your original inspiration, the blind school. How are you dealing with images? So many of those applications that you mentioned have images embedded. Presumably, some of your target end users may not even be able to visualize those images. Just interested what you've done with that.
Great question. So on our website over here on the Kickstarter page, we have a video of Matt King. Matt King is the first blind engineer of Facebook who's been collaborating with us for the past 1 year. And in Facebook, what he does, he converts images into text. So he uses artificial intelligence to convert images to like a person smiling, a dog laughing. And that's the whole idea, is that can we convert images into text to make it more accessible to blind?
Very cool. Derek?
I got an easy question here. Does it work with Android devices?
At this moment, it's only iOS. Not all the features support Android. We're just 3 people at this moment, so hopefully if we raise a lot of money, we definitely want to support Android, but it's not committed yet.
What's your monetization plan? The question was, what is your monetization plan?
We are selling our devices for $99, and then the app supports a lot of premium features. For instance, you can link fetching is a premium feature, and also you can get multiple voices. And also, you get cloud fidelity voices as well, actions. So there are some, at this moment for the next 2 years, we'll give our app for free. It's primarily sale of these devices.
The question was about licensing to content distributors.
Potentially. At this point, we are focused on getting this device out and getting the app ready.
PK, one quick question. I really liked your audio dictation. What are you guys using for that?
We are using a local text-to-speech synthesizer, but the premium, we'll also offer cloud-based premium audio that is much higher fidelity. But for privacy reasons, at this moment, we don't send any content to any third-party servers.
Or what about this? I'm sorry, the synthesis. The voice sounds really good when it's reading.
Yeah, that's Ivona we are using, NeoSpeech and Ivona cloud-based, and we're also using the AV speech synthesizer in Apple, local.
So you mentioned, you're working with a couple of schools for the blind in India. So a $99 device, how is that taking off there? That I would imagine is quite expensive there.
Absolutely. There's one of our Kickstarter packages is that you can get 2 devices for $199, and you can donate one to the school. And there's a lot of companies a lot of people who have bought that to donate that. Also, a lot of enterprises have given us $5,000 to buy those devices. So it's not going to be, it's still going to be expensive because we're starting out, but eventually over time, the price of this is going to be significantly cheaper.
One more question over here.
What do you think about Google's built-in functionality in Android system? Like now I just saw their Google I/O presentations and they presented the accessibility features, which they focus not only to a small part of population, but to everyone. So when they are driving or, for example, have dirty hands, they would be able to control all the functionality on Android only by voice. So wouldn't this kind of compete with built-in functionality by operating system like Android?
Good question. So anything that's done in the platform by Android and Apple towards accessibility is a great thing, and they need to absolutely do that. Our paradigm is voice commands are insufficient for reasons we can go into detail. It's on the blogs online that each voice interaction takes 3 seconds to 10 seconds, which is not highly interactive. When people want to be in the car, they want to browse information, whether you like it or not, that's the reality. So it needs to be highly interactive. Response time, so this device is less than 50 milliseconds for each. So it's not competing with voice. I think voice has a great promise. It's this 80% of use cases that voice cannot tackle. Because voice is used for asking questions and setting timers. It's not used for browsing content, and that's the problem we are trying to focus and solve.
Very cool. Thank you so much.
Sure.